What's up, guys? Hopefully everyone had a successful trading day today. I'm here doing my recap again for January 31st and my trades of the day. As normal, I'm looking at SPY, and that's what I traded today. In my last video, what I was kind of saying, my predictions were that we are going to come down to this 400 area, 400 area to 401 area, and just kind of chop in here, even up to that 402. Just because we have FOMC today, and I didn't think we'd probably see a whole lot of movement. While I was right on the, didn't see a whole lot of movement, I was wrong on the area. We did come down and test it. My initial entry that I was looking for was off this pre-market high, 402.23 for puts, and it did actually pan out. I managed to get out and had a couple here. The only problem was I left a runner, and then I progressively began to add. I did have because of my area that I was looking for, I had a bullish sentiment overall, and I really wanted us to come down more to this 458 is really where I was looking, anywhere between the 450 to 480 area. We never quite got that, and I kept adding to my puts throughout the day, which I went against my trading plan. I did say yesterday that I wanted to keep it light. There's FOMC. Everything I traded was, I was comfortable with the loss. Obviously, it was much larger than I would have liked. It is what it is. Took notes, journaled it, and we'll make sure that that doesn't happen again. Next FOMC, next time I set my rules, make sure that we follow those. But the only reason, and the reason I stayed in, is because the volume. We had such weird price action today. None of these push-ups really seemed sustained. And as they always say, the market can stay irrational longer than you can stay solvent, and I found that out today because in the Discord everyone was saying, and there's a lot of people agreeing, granted a lot of people are just sitting cash, and that would have been the better position for me today, but none of these pushes just seem to have volume and the price action that would support them, but it's just one of those days that the market makers want to get us to an area, and they got us there. So ultimately, obviously not pleased with my trade. We came out with a loss. But at one point I was green on the day. I should have taken that. I should have ran. It's FOMC tomorrow. I should have then sat on my hands and waited for an A+ setup, or just sat with cash and waited for tomorrow. As for tomorrow with FOMC, that's at 2 o'clock Eastern, 1 p.m. Central for me here. The big moves that I'll kind of be looking for is, depending on what they come out with, their rate adjustment, which is projected to be a quarter point again, is above 408 and really above this 410 area to see where we can push up to. Anywhere up to this 420. If we get above 408 and 410 with volume, then really anywhere this area 415, 420, all the way up to 420 is what I'll be looking for. Otherwise, if we come down, this trend line that's been pretty strong for weeks on end, I'd actually look for a retest of that down in this 395 area, and that's exactly where I'd be kind of looking, is 395 to the downside. Anywhere in this, 390 rough on the very low end up to the 395. If we do get good movement, if it's everything, on par and Jerome doesn't say anything out of the ordinary, then, we could see minimal movement. I won't be playing any straddles, anything like that before the talk. What I will look for is during his talk. If the rate adjustment is the quarter point, then I'm just going to wait for the talk. If there's something different about the rate adjustment that we weren't expecting, whether good or bad, depending on how the market reacts, I will look for that. And the way that'll work is, if we seem like we're going up because it's good news, look for that push up, get a pullback where the risk reward suits my profile, and then try and add on to that position, and vice versa for puts. If we get bad news and we start to push down, wait for a slight pullback where the risk reward seems there for me, and then add on to that. I probably won't add heavily until Powell starts actually talking, just because he's generally, like I said, as long as the rate is what we expect, then he's really the one that'll shift the market depending on what his sentiment is, what he says, and how he kind of skews everything for how we want to look in the market. So the big play for me is wait to see how it pans out. With a small account, as I tell you guys, I trade with around $1,000 so that I can get my bearings straight and make sure that we feel confident with this. I don't want to go in with a high risk where I'm starting out with contracts before they even talk. The risk reward is just too great and can easily blow up an account. So especially if you're on a small account, wait to react. Don't try and predict. There's nothing, you might get lucky, but it's bad habits, because eventually one of those times you're going to get knocked out. It's just a gamble at that point. But those are my big watches for FOMC. I'll probably trade a little in the morning depending on when we open up. And those those levels will probably come from the mainly from after hours. So right here already, you know, if we open close to this 4065, that could be a level. But also we have the rest of after hours and pre-market tomorrow. As always, trade smart, trade safe, and hopefully you guys have a good day trading tomorrow.